Anthropology, the study of man. Reason number 3, the other 9 commandments are not just for the Jews. God wrote the 10 commandments on stone. The commandment, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, and thou shalt not commit adultery. Do the other 9 only apply to the Jews? The Sabbath commandment is also for stranger, foreigners, meaning Gentile, is to rest on the Sabbath. Read the evidence in the commandment itself. Exodus 20 verse 10. Strangers are another word for non-Jews or Gentiles. Let us read Isaiah 56 verse 6. Also the sons of the stranger, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it and taketh hold of my covenant. Prophet Isaiah said, Gentiles should keep the Sabbath, for mine house shall be called a house of prayer for all people. Thus the Sabbath is for Gentiles and all people, not just for Jews. In the heavens and the new earth, all flesh will keep the Sabbath. In the new earth, from one Sabbath to another shall all flesh come to worship before the Lord, the prophet Isaiah said. Myth number 3, Sunday keepers have the mark of the beast now. Seventh-day Adventists do not believe that Sunday keepers have the mark of the beast now. Our official belief is no one has yet received the mark of the beast. The testing time has not yet come. There are true Christians in every church, not exempting the Roman Catholic Communion. None are condemned until they had had the light and seen the obligation of the fourth commandment. But when the decree shall go forth enforcing the counterfeit Sabbath by USA, the land beast, Revelation 13 verse 11, and the loud cry of the third angel shall warn men against the worship of the beast and his image. The line will be clearly drawn between the false and the true. Then those who still continue in transgression will receive the mark of the beast. Myth number 4, Jesus broke the Sabbath, John 5 verse 18. The Jews were accusing Jesus of breaking the Sabbath when he just healed a paralytic. The Old Testament scripture says, there is no law against act of healing on the Sabbath or telling a man to pick up his bed and walk home. They were added by rabbinical rules, added by scholars, and handed down via traditions. Jesus did not break the Sabbath law by healing on the day. His work of healing on the Sabbath was lawful. Then he said to them, what a man is there among you who has one sheep, and if it falls into a pit on the Sabbath, will not lay hold of it and live out? Verse 12. Of how much more value then is a man than a sheep? Therefore it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. The Pharisees also accused Jesus as a glutton, a drunkard. Matthew 11 verse 19. Just like what modern churches are teaching today, that Jesus broke the Sabbath, they are making Jesus a sinner, because sin is the transgression of the law. And if Jesus would have broken the Sabbath, he would be a sinner and he would need a redeemer. The Seventh-day Adventist Church do not teach that Jesus broke the Sabbath. He fulfilled the law of God. Myth number 5, the Sabbath is part of the old Jewish covenant. Most Christians today believe that the 10 commandments are a part of the old Jewish covenant and therefore they do not apply to Christians. Here is where they based it, on Deuteronomy 4:13-14. So he declared to you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, the 10 commandments, and he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone. Exodus 21:2. And God spoke all these words to Israel, saying, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. The problem is that they draw wrong conclusions from these verses. Exodus 20 verse 1 and 2 shows God gave all the 10 commandments not only to Israel. So the question is, are all 10 commandments only for Israel? Is it proper for Christians to have other gods, worship idols, to steal, dishonor their parents, kill, commit adultery, bear false witness, and covet? Of course not. The reason why God gave the 10 commandments to Israel is because they were his chosen people at that time, when he gave the law to them. But nowhere does the scripture says it is exclusively for them. In the same way, Jesus promised his 12 apostles that he is going to prepare a place for them. John 14 verse 3 says, I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself. Question: is the promise in John 14, 1-3 only for the apostles? Absolutely not. In the same way, the Sabbath is not only for the Jews, and the 10 Commandments is not only for Israel. Myth number 6. The Sabbath is an exclusive sign between Israel and God. Exodus 31 verse 13 and verse 16 and 17, speak also to the children of Israel, surely my Sabbaths you shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout generation. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. The Bible does say that the Sabbath was a sign for Israel, but it was not an exclusive sign for Israel. Myth number 7. The Sabbath is nailed to the cross. Colossians 2 verse 14 says, blotting out the ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to the cross. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink, or in respect an holy day, or the new moon, or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ. The Sabbath commandment is not a shadow of things to come. The Sabbath commandment is not a shadow that points to Christ, but rather it points us back to creation. Majority of the Christian world today believes that the 10 Commandments, and that includes the 4th commandment, is nailed to the cross, blotting out the handwriting or ordinances that